4 in 10 people believe in ghosts. Over a third of people believe intelligent life exists outside of Earth. 43% of people believe demons exist. There are unexplained phenomena happening daily around the globe, and we are here to talk about it. Your portal into UFOs, paranormal, cryptids, the supernatural, the mysterious, the unknown. I see you. This is Beyond the Radar, and this is your host, Humanoid Tom Conway.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Beyond the Radar radio show, your paranormal news program. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 in New Orleans. You can also check us out on the UPRN Facebook and YouTube page, Beyond the Radar's Facebook or YouTube page, and we are also on Roku TV now. So hello to everybody out there in TV land streaming, checking us out. You can check us out there for our archives or subscribe to Beyond the Radar's podcast on Spotify for past shows. And today, as you saw the promo, thinking of hoagies there. You guys see that, we have Mark himself, that I'll call him that because he's a very intelligent individual. You don't need a degree in ufology. I don't even know if there is one. I think Michigan has something weird like that, but who knows? But anyway, you don't need a degree. He's earned the title of ufologist. And anybody who's followed us at the end of last year, we have labeled Paranormal, a podcast that we just talk and shoot the shit about whatever we want. And honestly, it's always been great. Always had a ton of great episodes there and content. And if you were on UPRN and watched the solar eclipse episode, you saw him and another one of our good friends, Jennifer Stevens, who all three of us are in UFOs Over PA, and hopefully the times gets changed, Mark, so I'm not doing this at the same time and I can attend more. But so it's going to be a great episode. You guys know we're doing the Summer of Species, and we already went over Greys and we did Anunnaki last week. And, Mark and I, we could talk forever about Greys of the Anunnaki, but I really wanted to get into one that's maybe a little more uncommon than what we, Mark and I certainly know about it, but it's not as, popular as those two. And it's the insectoids or mantids, mantis humanoids, whatever you want to call it. There's always different names for it. So we will be getting into a little bug insectoid knowledge here, going deep into some of the lore about them, what makes them up, and also talking a little bit about Craig Campobasso, his book, The Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, wonderful book, a lovely read. And we'll excerpt a little bit and we'll give him credit. So if he's listening, we're not stealing anything, I'll show the book. We bought it. And then, let's, actually, how could I forget? I have some video evidence, some deep dives down in, it's harder and harder, and I'm going to get onto my conspiracy soapbox here. It's getting harder and harder to find these videos on American internet. So if you know browsers and you can get to the European version or you have a VPN, there's not as much backlash. So I found from the UK a video of suspected mantoids or insectoids. And then also, as you guys know, being a amateur ufologist myself, I have a few videos that Mark and I are going to brainstorm, pick apart here, and see if we can debunk or say, hey, there's nothing here that says this is outwardly fake. So all that beside, let me get into a mushy point. Thank you all for purchasing Healer. You guys have done a wonderful job. I really appreciate everybody, the love, helping purchase Healer and things like that. So I just, again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for help supporting myself. Yes, and a text board number. How could I forget? I had to put that up there. So we have a free text board number, 484-283-5328. Go ahead and text up your questions. Most of the time, all of you do a great job texting, but you can also comment from any of our live feeds, questions for Mark, any type of things, whether it's pointing to the conversation or, do we think the Pentagon had Marilyn Monroe killed? Because we had that question actually last week. So, yeah, why not? Why not? We're here. We're here. We're human. Let's talk about everything. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Mark and have him talk a little bit about himself before we get into everything. Mark, welcome to Beyond the Radar, your paranormal news program. How are you doing today?
I am doing phenomenal today. Thank you for having me on, Tom. I'm excited to be here. I like the format for your program. Let's talk about aliens.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. That's what we love to hear. We love to talk about aliens, and since this is live and we're not under a network, we get to choose whatever we want, and we can cuss, which is really cool.
All right.
Oh shit. There, but let's see. Do you want to start with the summer of species? Do you want to talk about the theorization of UFOs as angelic or demonic creatures, or should we do video evidence? You pick. Up to you.
Let's do. Well, how about we start with the video evidence first? Let's see what you got. What do you have to bring to the table?
Yeah, sure. Excellent. Dealer's choice, and that's how we do it because I'm sure we'll jump back and forth.
Oh yeah, we're getting to those topics.
Yeah. And the lovely StreamYard gets to pin it right here, and it's really easy to see and click on it. Okay, Mark. I got 3 videos for you. Go ahead and pick a number, 1, 2, or 3.
How about 2?
Okay. So this one is from Oak Ridge, California, not Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Close. I think I'm going to go ahead and watch the upper corner here. It's going to show 3 or 4 times, so don't worry about it if you miss it. There it was at full speed. Here's half speed.
Whoa.
And here's the 10th speed. You can really see the definition here.
So what happens to it after that?
Here's the side view. Here's the side view. So not only was this, captured, it's right there.
Oh, well, see, it goes in front of the houses. That might just be a bug right there.
At the same time?
Well, let's see.
Let me go ahead and redo it again.
That is pretty wild coming out from behind the mountain right there. I don't know what that is. That is pretty crazy.
I don't either. They're trying to say that it was at the same time the side video here. However, when you see this up top, it's about the height of the tree. When you saw it from the coming at you angle, I thought it was a lot lower than that.
Yeah. See, to me, that other video makes it look like a bug. It's kind of hard to tell, but the first one is very dramatic. I'd like to see an extended version of the first one. That could be something different. That could be unrelated.
I think it is unrelated. It starts from over the tree line.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming from behind the mountain and it just pops up there. That's pretty crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
Obviously a high rate of speed.
Yeah.
High So here's with me. The first thing I drew concern with was there was a car driving away right as or not right as, but in the very beginning of the video clip, you see it driving away. Driving, and all cars have brake lights, and brake lights are highly reflective because they're supposed to get your attention in the dark. So, I thought, okay, maybe something could be playing a trick as it was turning. You know what I mean? If it could turn, maybe it was playing a reflection off that. And that certainly seems the case for that second video. How he was claiming this was also captured on a second video. I agree with you. Yeah. And you called that right away. I don't think the second one is related to the first one. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't look compelling. I don't even it just looks like a bug, that second one. The first one though, that could be that's very dramatic looking.
It is very dramatic looking. And I will also This is interesting. And why I picked that up goes with the segue that we're going to talk about later of the angelic and paranormal aspect to UFOs rather than an entire being or entity. The interesting thing is it looked almost more paranormal to me.
Yeah,
because it was more of our interpretation in this dimension of that entity rather than a physical craft. That's how I took that there.
The first video?
Yeah, the one coming past over the head.
It seemed very, it almost seemed like an explosion to me, but I could definitely see that because I have been seeing these videos. Remember, I think I told you about this, about the scientific paper for these sort of plasma life forms, and I've been seeing these videos lately
Yes.
of these sort of plasma like beings. And I wouldn't be able to find this video right now, but there is this video of this very clearly, it looks like a white blob, and it very clearly morphs into this weird angelic shape, and it's just floating in the sky. You know, it's really wild looking.
So, yeah, the plasma entities are something that, I don't know, I guess has gotten more publicity,
Yeah.
or been talked about more. I should say that rather than publicity. Been talked about more over the last year or two.
Yeah.
And, you know, if our technology is ever changing, it'd be stupid to think other civilizations' technology are not. You know what I mean? So it could be just a new form
of technology.
of technology that they have. One thing that I'm going to show you, and this kind of touches on that a little bit. It's a picture, it's not a video.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and show you this one. Where is it? Let me get it up here first. There we go. You know, for IT, I really do save everything everywhere.
I do the exact same thing.
All right, can you see that?
Let me see. Nothing's showing up for me. Let me see.
Let me.
Did you put it in the private chat?
It says sharing a window. Okay, well that's fine. I'm going to copy and I'll put it in the private chat for everyone, and then everyone else can see it. All right. Well, the private chat is not allowing video there, but just go ahead and check your email because I went ahead and did it that way. Just so you can take a look and we can both see it. Once you got it, take a look and I'll present it again for everybody watching at home.
Okay, hang on.
Your Gmail account.
Yeah, my Gmail. It's sometimes it takes a little bit.
Yep. But what it reminds me of is a capture of a plasma undulation.
Yeah.
And it almost reminds me of how Jeremy Corbell talked about the chandelier.
The jellyfish UFO.
Yeah.
And did you see? Okay, here we go. This might. Okay, yeah, that's pretty wild looking. Wow.
So I'm going to go ahead and get that back for everyone who's watching at home. There we go. They can take a look here, and you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 around.
Yeah.
And one sort of in the center, and it's almost like it's cockeyed, so it's not facing directly at the camera. It's off an angle.
Yeah.
But that was reported by somebody in I do not know. That's my bad. But that was somebody reported here in the United States to BeyondTheRadarNews.com, that picture. And that's just a cut of it. There was a big, it was bigger. I just cut it down. So and zoomed in to make it look bigger. But that was very interesting. And that's what reminded me when you said that. I instantly thought of that one.
Yeah.
About how these plasma entities undulate, sort of. Yeah. And they're more daytime, aren't they?
They're more daytime. That's the weird thing about them, is that you can see them. You could just like this. You could film them. I mean, they'd be very rare to actually see one, but they appear to be daytime plasma. And this may in some weird way relate to angels of the Bible, something like that.
We'll put a pin in that one because that's going to be a great discussion point to talk about, some of those theories. And it was something that was completely unknown to me.
Yeah.
That theory, you know what I mean? That whatever you want to call it, but it does have some. I'm not going to say gung ho 100% for it, but it does have some interesting takes and some sort of evidence. And us being smoke and fire people, why is the Vatican so into it? You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's the thing. Yeah. I don't know if you want to keep because we could talk all about that. But what was the other thing that you want to talk? You want to talk about in Insectoid, or you had two other videos?
Yeah, I've still two other videos. Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, this next one that I'm gonna pull this one up. This might be a nighttime plasma because pay attention because it really there's a lot of undulation and moving and a lot going on. It's not the best quality video, but this one is from, and I'll get this is Plantation, Florida. I'm gonna add this one here. Take a look there in the middle. So it looks like just a star or a dot right there, but wait for him to zoom in. He gets pretty good visual with this. Yeah. I cut it off a little too quickly, but he does have some undulation. When he stands, he gets some steady camera right there.
Yeah.
You see it pulsating. You see multiple pulsations going around sort of clockwise there.
It is interesting. It's interesting when it's like the brightest object in the sky like that, because where are the other stars? Why is that one shining, brighter than all the other stars and not moving like a plane or anything? It's just staying in the sky. It is very unusual.
Absolutely, very, very unusual. What I'm going to do now is, I'm not above Mark emailing myself links. So
I've done that. That's exactly
I do that all the time. So let me try to get okay. So I have a better version of this, but I took a screenshot for you and do the same thing like we did with the other one. I sent it to your email, and we'll present this to everybody. Let me know when you got it.
Hang on, it takes just a little bit.
So for everyone who's watching and can see this one, you see the multiple orbs on this orb itself. It goes within orbs, which
okay. So this is zoomed in. I see it now. Yeah.
And then so when you have an image like that, and then I replay this, that's what it's doing, dancing up in that sky there.
Yeah. I saw a video on our UFOs, Reddit /r UFOs earlier today of a dude who was videoed. I think he was in Texas. Oh no, Sentinel, Arizona, right here. I'll probably just email you this link so you could show it. But it reminds me of that. I just replied to your email. But it reminds me of that and how bright it was, because in this video that I just sent you, you could see stuff you could see lights in the background. You could see the stars, but these lights are so bright in the sky, and it's constantly reported that the UFOs, the lights of a UFO are like a welding light, and that's what it looks like. And what you just showed me here, it looks like the same light, and it's just really incredible.
Yeah, look at that. I'm looking at yours now.
Yeah,
and you're right.
Wild.
That is absolutely wild. I wish I could clip this for people here. But you're absolutely right. It's the size, or it's the brightness
how bright it is.
Yeah,
like it's just
and,
so
light. Is are the elements that we make light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. Or if you break a certain particle with sound, it creates light. I forget, but but who's to say different elements can't create different? I mean, we know different elements create different light. You have green, you know what I mean? You have a copper, you have a brownish light, you have different kinds of elements that do that. They might have just figured out one better.
Well, and it's not just that. It's a big speculation on this part, why the light is so intense, where it comes from. Well, it's so big. You know what I mean? It looks like it's on fire almost, is because it's essentially using nuclear radiation. It's irradiating itself and creating some sort of bright plasma field around itself, and I mean to operate these kind of machines, you need an immense amount of energy, and that creates a lot of light. Basically, that's the theory.
That is, I mean, it's a theory that's been around for a while. But one thing I want to add, and this just came to the top of my head as you were saying it, I thought about it before. I don't know the answer, and I'm afraid to find out. But are we just not going to be in tune with many extraterrestrial civilizations because our simple biology cannot handle radioactive material?
Well, and not just that, but another theory that's coming around in high level schools like Harvard and Stanford is that lower level biology, like ants and birds and stuff like that, they are actually they're following geomagnetic patterns on the Earth. And not just that, it's speculated that there is like a magnetic sort of hive mind situation, like for a colony of ants, there's like a life field, that controls the colony. Rather than each one having consciousness, it's like a wireless field that they all share a very similar consciousness. And what could be happening is that we are not even in tune. We're not even able to be in tune with higher levels of consciousness to be able to do what you're saying. You know what I mean? Our biology may not be able. We might just be monkeys here, stuck on this planet.
And that gets into some of the parts that I was like, oh, I'm dreading to find the answer. You know what I mean? Because it would be very sad. You know what I mean? That in certain aspects you have dominion over an ant, and in other aspects it has dominion over you. Well, and it's awful, but it would also lend to the theory that we were introduced and not evolved from the planet. And that can be a whole episode in and of itself right there. But we just have we have a bunch of buckets.
Yeah,
we have to think about this as a bunch of buckets in our minds, in our hive mind, as ufologists and people who study metaphysics and paranormal. All we have to do is just keep all these open buckets, and when we find something that fits in one of them, you grab like a point, or and be like, all right, that goes in that bucket. That's one more point for that theory. You know what I mean? And that's what essentially it is for the hybridization model of whether you want to think it's Anunnaki or some other race. You know what I mean? That came here. It makes sense, because what do all of those other animals have? Insects, animals, whatever you want, have that we don't? Well, if it originated from this planet, it had to have been born from this planet, and we are always told we are a part of the universe.
Yeah.
But how many people say animals are a part of the universe? You know what I mean? We just might have a different origin story than they do, for better or for worse. You know what I mean? Some things are obviously better, but that could be why, they have this hive mind attached to the planet.
Yeah.
And we all know about the hive mind with insects and things like that. And, we'll get into, the mantids too, which is theorized in this book that they have a consciousness and a hive mind where they can tap into either one. They can be their own thing, or they can go into the hive mind state. And when they go into the hive mind state, that's like essentially their government. That's all right. What do we need to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they go do what they have to do on their own and have consciousness for that. But they always revert back. It's like the old school when you used to learn like the government in school at 51, 49%. You know what I mean? Like 49% conscious, but 51% hive mind. But you can do both. So great topic right there. Let me get this third video up. Sure. And pay attention because it's quick. Okay. So you have this guy zooming in on two fighters going, and he zooms out and there's nothing, but wait for the middle going right to left. Okay. It might not have shown it there. I'll try to do my best if you could see my mouse. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I saw like a little speck.
Little flash, yeah.
Oh man.
It's not a big one, but it was certainly moving way too fast. Even people commenting on that one said I couldn't see it, but the fact that it was going way too fast is actually a point for you because what else could go that far? What else could go that quick?
It'd be interesting to know what that facility was that they were flying over. If it was a nuclear facility.
Definitely interesting for that one as well. I'm also going to show you this one that I had last week, but it's really cool. Have you ever seen a drone capturing a UFO?
Well, let's see it. I don't think I have.
Look, it's going to come like this way.
Oh, I think I did see this one. Oh, man.
Oh,
what is there a way to pause it on that?
Yeah, I'm going to try. All right, it's right there. I paused it there.
Oh man. Oh man. It's you might have to go frame by frame for that one. But that is definitely quick. That's not a bug. That is definitely quick. I wonder where that's over. Is that over like England?
This is Jersey.
Something? Oh, Jersey. Okay. That's interesting.
Oh, I'm trying.
Yeah. It definitely looks like a small white object, which is in line with.
Oh, there we go.
Where is it? Right
there. Can you see my mouse or no?
No, I can't see your mouse.
Okay. Do you? So you have the cul-de-sac U right here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Do you see the car on the far side of the U?
Okay.
Parked on the side of the road?
Yeah.
Now take that and go up right till you get to the corner of the L tree line.
Okay.
I hit it.
Yeah, it's still really tough to see it, but I can see it when it's moving.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like a small white object going incredibly fast.
Yeah. Incredibly fast. I had Nerd Informer on last week, and they were crazy about that one. They were like, "Wow, I've never seen a UFO captured by a drone."
Yeah,
and it was way too fast to be a bird or a bug, and way too low to be another craft. And if it distorts it a little bit over the airwaves like this, so if you were to see that in person, and I can send you an email of it. I can send you an email of it. You can see it a little bit better when you widescreen the whole thing, and have it. It's a relatively good quality camera.
Right.
And one of them were drone pilots and said, "Oh, wow, he's using it," and knew exactly what kind of drone he was using before that. He said there's only certain grade that have that kind of quality of video on top of it. Yeah. But no, it was really, really cool. But I had that on last time, and it was way too fast. But when you get it and you see it, this thing has to be like like maybe 6 feet around, like diameter.
Oh, wow.
It's
So
a
it's
very
big.
small. Yeah. It's not, it wasn't a big one, that you would think it would be an individual passenger if it was a UFO and things like that. So,
Yeah.
All right. So we're about halfway through. We're going to take a break here for a couple minutes, and then we will get into our theory, and then we'll end with the Insectoid Aliens. So everyone, just wait a couple minutes, and we'll be back right here on the UFO Paranormal Radio Network.
4 in 10 people believe in ghosts. Over a third of people believe intelligent life exists outside of Earth. 43% of you believe demons exist. We invite you to Beyond the Radar, your paranormal news show. If it's unexplained phenomena happening daily around the globe, we're talking about it. Exploring the unexplained, challenging the conventional, and diving deep into the shadows that lurk just beyond our perception. Come join the transmission on the United Public Radio Network. Once you come, you'll never be the same.
Meet Daniel Knight, a psychologist with an extraordinary gift to absorb and heal the deepest wounds of the mind. In the heart of a chilling investigation, every secret unraveled binds him closer to darkness. But as he delves into the psyche of a killer, his own demons emerge. Caught in a battle within and against an evil that seeks to exploit his powers, where the line between savior and victim blurs. Dare to heal the wounds of the mind. Healer. Read it today.
Do you want to reach millions with your product or service? Are you looking to connect with a diverse, intelligent, and engaged audience? Then look no further. Beyond the Radar radio show is your golden ticket to achieving just that. Our listeners are curious, open-minded, and always eager to learn. They value quality, authenticity, and innovation, just like your brand. With Beyond the Radar, your advertisement will be heard by millions of dedicated listeners. Our show covers a wide range of topics, attracting a diverse audience that could be your next loyal customers. So why wait? Take your brand to Beyond the Radar and into the hearts and minds of millions. Advertise with us. Let's explore the extraordinary together. Beyond the Radar radio show, where your brand meets a world of curious minds. Contact us today for advertising opportunities at www.beyondtheradarnews.com and fill out our contact form. We hope to talk to you soon.
Samantha survives a tragic accident thanks to Lucian, an enigmatic being. Her newfound abilities catch the attention of a secretive government agency. Drawn to Lucian despite the danger, Samantha is unaware of his true identity. She teams up with Lucian's brothers in a daring mission to rescue him. Accused unfairly, Lucian seeks refuge on his distant homeworld. Can Samantha prove Lucian's innocence and save their forbidden love? From the Sky by J.E. Nicasio. Available now. Get your copy on Amazon and BNN.
Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what lies beyond? Have you ever felt a sense of curiosity about mysterious lights darting across the sky? If so, my UFO 101 Unveiling the Unknown course is just for you. This course is a comprehensive introduction into the fascinating world of unidentified flying objects and extraterrestrial life. It is designed for beginners, so no prior knowledge is required. I am your instructor, Tom. I am an author, podcast host, and seasoned researcher in the field ready to debunk common myths and misconceptions. So are you ready to embark on an exciting journey to unravel the secrets of the universe? Join us at UFO 101 Unveiling the Unknown, and let's explore the unknown together. Don't let this free opportunity fly away. Enroll now and start your journey into the intriguing world of UFOs and extraterrestrial life. All right, we're back. Hello, everyone. 107.7 FM New Orleans and 105.3 on the Gulf Coast of Mississippi, and of course online on the United Public Radio Network. All right, so we're back, and we want to jump into a new topic here, a topic that's been growing and gaining popularity, and really had some gasoline thrown on a fire with hearings last year. So, Mark, this is about angels and aliens, or demons and angels and aliens, and a common or a growing thought that these could be supernatural rather than extraterrestrial or interdimensional. Or some are saying it can be all of them. Angels, aliens, and certain UFO creatures live on higher planes of existence. So it's lovely to speculate. There's not much concrete knowledge on this right now, but there was an article that I'm going to share a couple of highlights from for you, Mark, and get your feedback on, from the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops. And this is by author Robert Duncan. And this just came out on June 18th, 2 days ago.
Oh.
So, he claims in his article that a group of scientists and researchers are seeking to access the Vatican Apostolic Archives, or VAA, to uncover information about UFOs and the paranormal, believing there are traces among and this is an accurate estimate, 50 miles of shelving holding everything from handwritten papal notes to presidential missives. So this is gaining momentum after David Grush's testimony, and we all heard that he alleged the Vatican had an involvement with Pope Pius XII, and he back-channeled information to the United States about a crashed UFO recovered by fascist dictator Benito Mussolini. Again, where there's smoke, there's fire. Mussolini and the United States were not on the best terms in the 30s, so the fact that they were working together means something was probably up there. The secretary of the archives, or the secretary to the prefect of the archives, said he has no idea how he gained this information. And they are hesitant because they said one can laugh at what we have in our documents. So not really a good example or a good reason why not to turn things over. But
well,
go ahead.
So I think it's kind of interesting. It's kind of another, I think his name is Bill Nelson, head of NASA take of just like, oh, we don't have any of that. Meanwhile, you have 2 books by Diana Pasulka specifically about this subject.
Yeah.
UFOs aside, the Vatican archives are probably one of the most important archives, places of documents in the world. Yes. The Vatican archives are probably the only place where you can truly, if you are a good enough researcher, be able to paint a picture of the ancient world, be able to look back into antiquity. A lot of stuff like that was lost. The Vatican archives has things in it that are priceless, things that it would give us much greater context about the past if the public was allowed to read this stuff. But the fact of the matter is, Diana Pasulka did have access to these archives, and she specifically went there to just study the archives, and she thought UFOs were silly until she studied enough of the archives and came to the conclusion that, wait a minute, this is like the same subject. We're talking about the same thing. Metaphysical beings coming down, aiding humans with advanced technology. These are, what's his name? Saw fire. I forget which one saw the burning bush.
Abraham.
Abraham saw the burning bush. You could consider that to be a glowing plasma orb. I saw one of those. That was my UFO experience. Not like as dramatic as a burning bush or whatever, but it
didn't tell you messages.
it didn't tell me anything. I just saw it float in the middle of the field. It was not dramatic at all. But this subject, it's so deep, and that is the truth behind it. We need Harvard and these top institutions to go back and review these Vatican archives, because the entirety of the Vatican archives are being held under the perspective of the Catholic Church. And no offense to any Catholics, But, you know, 14th century Catholic Church, we're not exactly talking about science here. You know what I mean? We need some people to go in there and be like, oh, all these villagers saw an angel come down on a golden orb from the sky. Oh, that was obviously a UFO encounter of some kind. You know, like
that's so funny you say that, because I've also read about Diane Pasulka, and very smart woman in, I believe, North Carolina, University of North Carolina, or yeah, I think it's University of North Carolina, Wilmington. She was a religious studies professor. So she's not, and again, nothing wrong with that, but she's not coming in as a physicist that's going over there to read about this. This is someone who has their roots in on what they believe as a religious studies professor at a major university in the United States. And what she claimed after that, to your point, and exactly what she said she believed all of it, and said, this doesn't have to disprove things. It's just a misinterpretation of miracles. Exactly. It does not have to mean God doesn't exist. You're taking one thing and you're blowing it all the way over there. You know, she was saying that, you know, there were reports of orbs flying into nuns, I guess dorms, or you know what I mean? Like they're housing, you know, whatever. Yeah. And then also flying houses in the sky.
Exactly.
And, you know, plasma orbs too floating around, and they didn't know what it was. And when you don't know something and it's weird, it's going to frighten you at first, and I get that. That's just, you know.
And I just want to interject here, just to add to this, that floating temples, floating cities, you know, you could even interpret the phrase kingdom of heaven. These could represent giant spacecraft. That's, you know, what Vimanas in Hindu texts, it could all be the same thing, but continue.
Yeah, no, it's, it doesn't have to, you know, disprove. And that's one thing that I was really fascinated with, is because in our divisive society now, where you're either all the way this or you're all the way that, you know, to have somebody in that realm cross over, you know what I mean? And say, hey, maybe science is right a little bit, that it's not a miracle. There is a rational explanation for it. But then on the science side,
but they're also,
it's not irrational. You know what I mean? We have no idea.
But it could be both. And that's the thing. That's what metaphysics really is that the acknowledgement, like, I am totally pro science 100%. I'm a tech guy, but I believe in souls, because I think souls make way more sense than people not having souls. Like, yes. I'm coming from this at a logical perspective. I think the idea of a soul makes way more sense, not in a religious capacity. It just mechanically, it makes more sense to me. You know,
I completely agree. It's something that is not an either or.
Yeah.
You know, and you can make certain aspects in this in either or, and that's fine. You know what I mean? But those are more surface level things, because a lot of this stuff seems to coincide with one another. A couple of days ago on Chasing Prophecy, I had Dr. Melvin Vobson on, and he is someone who has found simulation data, or actual, you know, from Plato to Aristotle to Nick Bostrom, even in the current time, people have formulated that this is a simulation.
Yeah.
But those are all thoughts. Those are all theories. Those are all hypotheses. He's found evidence in the second law of infodynamics of material shrinking itself to the most optimal form and then staying there, where evolution, if you were to believe evolution, would go the opposite way. So real quick, that's the best way to put it in.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, he was all over earlier this year, everywhere. Yeah. Newsweek, News Nation, IFL Science, Discovery. He's been published. He has 2,500 citations. This guy is known. He's just not from here. He's Portsmouth, UK. Right. But, and again, if he's listening, thank you so much, because it was after midnight his time, but he claimed so much in it that he wanted to be on with everybody.
Yeah.
And I can try to get him on this one as well and elaborate further into it. But anyway, like how computer programs do, the best way I can say is, you guys ever try to send an email and it says, oh, you put too many pictures, we can't send this email, so you have to put it in a compressed file and then send it. Well, what that is you're taking the data and taking the most crucial parts of the data and sending that way when it opens up. Or like if you vacuum out a vacuum sealed bag and you open it up and air gets in and it blows right back up to the original size, that's essentially what it's doing on the universal scale level, which would theorize that the universe is working as a supercomputer, which would theorize that these are programs within a supercomputer. And when he brought that data out, and I read his book, and I'll give him a plug for his book right here, Reality Reloaded, that you can't buy in America. I had to ask him to send it to me from England, which, again, conspiracy. But
that's pretty wild.
So anyway, this when he was talking about that, and I'll make the connection here, when he was talking about all of that, 2,500 citations, a professor at Portsmouth, UK, somebody in the English Cambridge school, cycle, very smart man who said, look, as scientists, we have to follow the evidence. And with this evidence suggesting that, it's suggesting in not the evolution method, but a creationist method, that the Big Bang essentially was somebody turning on that computer, and that the speed of light is the max processing speed of this. And I blew my mind when he said that this guy is like, well, if this, we're following this out, the evidence is there, and it's published, it's proven, it's all that stuff. He's like, now it's just up to everyone to take it and whether believe me or not, but the science is telling me, whether you want to call it God or not, it's some sort of somebody started this big computer.
And what's really fascinating about that is once they got the James Webb telescope up there, they started to have to rework fundamental models about how the universe works. The Big Bang Theory. So I'm neutral on creationism, but I do believe in determinism, which is a little different. It's sometimes people relate it to creationism. It's not really the same thing though. But there's a big, controversy now because the Big Bang Theory, is probably not that accurate. Now that we can see how a lot of the rest of the universe is structured, it doesn't seem to be structured in the way that we thought. In fact, there's actually some pretty weird objects out there. You should check out the Twin Jet Nebula if you ever get the chance.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
listening, Twin Jet Nebula, go ahead and, everybody out there too. That is weird. But that's funny. He said that too. He said that the belief in the Big Bang explosion happened and started this is just as fanatical as the relation of the old religious idea. So he's calling both ends. He's like, both ends are wrong. No wonder people are having fighting each other on the other one, because neither one of them are right.
Exactly.
And just having a very learned man talk about that is just phenomenal. And I was honored. I mean, you never meet that many people who are published that many times. And not only that, but are a genuine person and not, ego driven and things like that too. You know what I mean? You just meet a good dude. All right. So, wonderful topic there. In our final segment, our final 10 minutes, we will talk about our insectoids. So I'm going to add another video here, Mark, for you. And this was captured on a hill in Brazil, rural Brazil.
Ooh. Oh, I did. I think I've seen this before. Yeah, this
sort of mantid-looking, upright humanoid.
Because you got to think to yourself, how big are those plants? How big are those bushes it's standing next to? It looks like it's really far away. That thing's got to be like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Yeah. So they claimed it was 10 foot tall.
There you go. Something like that.
They claimed it was 10 foot tall. They had somebody with they did their due diligence. They had somebody out there with a ruler and went back from the same, tape measure, I should say, and stood there at my height and put it on my head. And, so anyway, that was in rural Brazil.
Yeah.
The insectoids really come down to one race, and it's the mantids, or the praying mantis humanoid, creature, hybrid, whatever you want to call it. One thing I wanted to say too is that the majority of these sightings, and I don't know if you've noticed this either, Mark, but they come from South America. And they're really, you don't hear too many in the United States. You don't hear too many in any other, society. It's solely down there. I don't know why, but there has been an infatuation with Incas, Mayans, and insects, and especially with their drawings, Yeah. So the Smithsonian had an article a few years ago that they found down in Chile, and it was this mantid-looking creature. So please Google Smithsonian half man, half praying mantis creature, and you can see the pictures there down there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Starship Troopers?
Oh yes, I've seen the movie Starship Troopers.
So what I want to stress to everybody is when they talk
about, and I play Helldivers too.
That is, yeah. There's a lot of things in there. There wasn't many actually mantises. It was more of like the beetles and
just beetles and bugs and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but where did they blow up on Earth to start that war? Buenos Aires.
Oh yeah, Buenos Aires. Yeah, I remember that. That is pretty funny.
At least somebody did a little homework there about where they would attack if they did attack somewhere. Yeah.
I'd say, yeah.
So I'm going to read a little bit out of this section of Craig Campobasso, Extraterrestrial Species Almanac. Wonderful book. Please go out and get it. I'm going to read a little bit about their characteristics. So in terms of origin, it is believed by Frank that they exist in the Andromeda and Orion constellations, possibly others, but that's beyond our scientific reach as of now. In terms of physical characteristics, 7 to 10 feet tall. However, they are fluent in astral projection, and in the astral plane, they can be as large as a football field. So really, really big. Let's see. They stand upright, slim triangular or reverse triangular faces, slanted black eyes, sharp pointed beak, 3-pronged hands, and exoskeleton, and longer necks that are able to move in multiple directions. Mantises, they say, have emotion, but you need to be have telepathy to understand it, because they don't show emotion. They have emotion, they don't show emotion physically. Their cosmic agenda is they're part of the Galactarian alignment and participate in the Melchizedek Starseed program. So some of you who believe in starseeds, you could be or have previously been a mantid. Huge motherships, fleet ships, and powered by super biological computers. Mm-hmm. So you integrate with a machine, a little bit like the consciousness part that we've talked about previously.
The Independence Day aliens were similar to mantids. They weren't 100% based on them, though.
No, but in terms of
it's a very similar idea, though.
It is a very similar idea. In that movie, I wish you got more of the why. Yeah, you had that little scene where it took over Bill Pullman, but
it's literally the reason for, like, it's they described it in the movie as a biological suit that a smaller organism inhabits,
and so that would make sense. I don't think a biological creature in space would be gigantic. I think.
Well, they're talking about astral projection. See, from my understanding,
that's different. That's not even a physical world.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing with mantids specifically. From everything that I know about mantids, is that they mostly interact in dream states. They're normally the ones that are running the show. They're in the background. They might be watching. They might be in a corner. They might have a wand, but they're directing grays. Sometimes you can telepathically communicate to them, but a lot of times they don't want you to look at them, and they just have the grays going on. Yeah, it's fascinating because the ones down in South America, I think they're completely unrelated to the astral projection ones. The ones down in South America, I think those are Green Goblin guys. I think there's something weird going on in South America. Now, they could also be insectoid type aliens, but I don't think they're the mantids that are like, I don't think they're the high level mantids, running the show. I think what's happening down in South America, that might be a totally different, they're like foot soldier mantids or something.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. This one aspect actually is a callback to what we were talking about earlier. So we're going to talk about consciousness ability and get into a little bit of what you said. Mantid beings are fully conscious and sovereign. Besides being telepathic, they have a hive mind by choice, yet also a singular mind. They can enter their species hive mind and exit at free will. While in the hive mind, they can converse with others, share experiences, expand technologies, teachings, and think of it like a mind internet.
Sounds like that's what I was going to say. It's like an internet, but they can leave. I want to leave the internet.
Is extremely powerful, and the most powerful of their characteristics is their mind, which you wouldn't expect being an insect. Mantis beings look at the universe as a symphony, and all of the players need to be playing their instruments.
Yeah.
They regard themselves as frequency aligners and assuring all the instruments are tuned. They can hear and sense discord in sectors of the universe and send their frequencies to those areas for realignment and healing.
Yeah.
They love to astral travel, visiting universal temples of learning in every dimension. When a group of mantids are ready to transition from the 6th to the 7th, the 6D beings astral travel to the 7D learning centers and prepare themselves for the next transition of their conscious development. Some of the highest frequency mantis beings speak the light essence language. And so mantis exists from the 6th to the 12th dimensions, and they are able to step down their energy to appear in 3, 4, and 5 as well. They use crystals, which assist them from transitioning to one dimension to another, because mantis beings are one of the most ancient and highly evolved races. Right. They work in realms and dimensions that humans cannot possibly understand.
Yeah.
So that little snippet on the mantids, I think they, let me put it this way. All this being real, they probably evolved not to show motion and to only show motion telepathically, because I think they are the ones who are coming here to learn more about us, because we are so frequently violent that our frequency is so out of tune that they need to figure out what's going on. Yeah. However, I do feel that they're empathetic. I don't feel that they're evil. You understand me? I don't feel that they're evil.
Yeah. It's never really documented that they do evil things. Normally what happens is people document seeing a mantid while a procedure is happening. Well, it could be a good procedure. Experiment. They could be getting cancer out of your body or something. You know what I mean? But it seems like they either have neutral or good intentions. That's what it seems like.
I think so too. So before we hop off of here, let me check the text board. Brian in Louisiana, Louisiana 107.7 FM in New Orleans. Thank you for listening. Where could they be from? Oh, if you missed it, they believe that they were from the Andromeda or Orion constellations. Jimmy, Mississippi. Are they harmful? Well, see, that's what I said. If they're there to be facilitators, to experiment, I can see why you would think that they're bad. I don't particularly, from what I read, judging by this, I haven't read any story that they've maliciously came to hurt people. We've always heard that they, just like Mark said, are in the background. Greys are more of this, either a servant class or
they control them directly.
Yeah, or they control them directly, robotic, whatever, drone, whatever you want to call them. So I don't believe that they are harmful. Brian in Pennsylvania, home state. Where can I report my UFO? Oh, well, there's many sites. You can go to the National UFO Reporting Center, NUFORC, or also beyondtheradarnews.com.
And if you want to talk about it, go to UFOs Over PA. We're on meetup.com.
There you go. Oh, yeah, there you go. Excellent, Mark. UFOs Over PA. And by all means, even if you're not on a live, go ahead and comment, and one will be there within 2 weeks. And you can, by all means, hop on. Maddie in Florida. I've seen one of these things in Costa Rica! ! Well, that certainly would be an area of, that would be down there. That would be.
There's a lot of activity near Costa Rica.
Yeah, a lot. Not just with them. Paranormal. Different UFOs, orbs, spiritual lights,
military installations guarded by weird, people. Yeah.
I mean, I have to think with water has always been a source of energy for things we don't understand. And if you're an island, you're just going to have more, I think. You're just going to see more. It's just how it's going to go. That's what I think. And especially in Latin America and Central America, you're so skinny, you might as well be an island. You're so skinny, right?
Yeah.
Like you're
with Panama and stuff.
Yeah. The canal. I mean, they made South America an island by that canal, right? So, but Maddie, no, submit your story. And actually, hey, UFOs Over PA, they'll listen to a Mantis story as well too. So UFOs Over PA on Meetup, everybody. So that's going to wrap up. Mark, give a shout out for UFOs Over PA and anything else you want to talk about.
Yeah, if you want a safe space to tell your paranormal story, whether it's UFOs or anything, and you live up in the Northeast, I mean, you're free to join even if you don't live in the Northeast. But our group is called UFOs Over PA. We're on meetup.com. Come on in. Tell your story. Yeah. We'll listen to it.
I think if you just Google UFOs Over PA Meetup, yours the first one to come up. Probably, built-in SEO from Meetup. So great job, Meetup, for everything there. But we've been broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast in Mississippi and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We've also been airing live on Roku TV. You can catch our archives there or subscribe to Beyond the Radar's podcast for past shows. Thank you all for tuning in. Next week, we'll see you same time, same place. And everybody have a wonderful week and stay weird.